Hey, Nichole Huntsman here, your astrologer from moderncosmic.com. I just very quickly and spontaneously wanted to throw this up. I've been thinking lately about our current retrograde, our Mercury retrograde. It's in Virgo. And for me personally, was born with Mercury direct in Virgo. And so when we have our Mercury retrograde here, it definitely gets my attention. In particular, it's played out a little differently than I sort of had expected. And this retrograde for me has been about, and it may be for you as well, about purification. This idea, in fact, if you think about like the Vestal Virgins, this idea of dedicating one's life, one's time, one's body, one's energy towards a higher purpose. And the fact that we have to have a healthy body, the vessel needs to be clear in order to receive the inspiration we need to live our lives. With what I do every day with dealing with all different types of sort of life paths and helping people on their journeys, my health has to be it takes away from my ability to read if I don't feel well, And so, personally, I've stopped drinking. I've made a lot of changes, dietary changes, drinking like massive amounts of water lately, just because it's like I need it on this deep soul level. I don't even know how to describe it. So as far as this retrograde, just personally, it's been in my first house, which is the house of the body, and that's where I have Virgo in my chart. And also a little bit in the second house, which has to do with the survival of the body. But it's been this very physical, introspective shift. It's been introspective, the emotional, spiritual side of things, but it also has to do with how the physical body interfaces with the spirit. And it's been a really pretty cool experience. Also, I recently posted it for those of you who, I don't know, I've got a playlist on here on the channel where I've got links from other astrologers or from just other practitioners that I like. And I put on some of the crystal bowl meditations, so like the chakra meditations, these things that are sort of helping us get our bodies in tune with our spirits. And as far as my job with reading with astrology, I just have had this incredible influx of imagery, and I feel like everything is like wide open. I'm seeing things now that I before was a little bit foggy or blocked on, and now they're just like coming at me full speed all at the same time. So I just want to say Mercury retrogrades aren't always a bad thing. On the other hand, I should say, my phone, which my brand new iPhone that I cracked the screen on within like a couple of days of getting it, of course, as I do, because I'm very clumsy, it finally died. The screen just died on me, so I've got to get it fixed. But, there's a hardware Virgo rules things like, mechanical hardware, rules tools, things that you might use to kind of make your life, organize your life with. So you may be seeing some of those things have issues, and mainly in my mind though, especially with where Jupiter's at right now and Saturn as well, it's a really good time to take stock. Are you taking care of your vessel or are you not? If you are, awesome, great. What else can you do to improve that, to improve upon the theme? And if not, now's the time. At least this is me. It's me in my first house, so maybe I'm just talking to all of you with Mercury retrograde in your first house. But wherever Mercury retrograde falls, it's time for order in that area. Let's clean that area up. Let's get it organized. If it's, let me give a quick run through. Second house, this is our personal finances, it's survival. It is our sense of our ability to go to the grocery store and be able to purchase food and bring it home, right? Great time for budgeting. Maybe you need to look at your budget. Maybe you've been spending more than you should. Maybe it's time to get a little bit more clean with how we spend our money, just like they talk about clean eating, same thing, but like that approach to finances. What about third house? Third house is the mind. Third house is planning. You combine Virgo and third house and you've got design. It's designing something. It's coming up with a plan. How do I want this thing to look? How do I want it to? It's great for revisiting a plan. If you had an idea about something, if you've got to edit something or rewrite something or design something. When I see Virgo and Mercury strong in a chart, I see that a lot in like designers' charts along with Venus. But fourth house, this is going to be the home. This is your home life. This is a great time for example, Maybe a little feng shui is in order. You know, maybe there's some closets that need to be cleaned out. Just think of that word. I love the phrase release, to release things, to let go, to release, to purify, to simplify, to downsize. All of these things are Virgo, okay, in the 4th house. 5th house is going to be your creativity. So this is our ego. It's our self-expression. It's our desire to use our energy and our life force, you know, on behalf of another person, perhaps. Mercury retrograde here. If you're working on creative projects, 5th house does have to do with creativity. It has to do with our children as well. So maybe paying a little bit of extra attention to, you know, going back through, looking at how you're saying things, looking at how you're, to your children, looking at how you're nurturing your inner child. Are you taking care of your inner child? Are you playing? You know, are you giving service to that part of you that is the wellspring of creativity? 6th house, which is the Virgo house, that's the natural Virgo house. Mercury retrograde here, again, there's this sort of, could be an influence on health. It could also be your habits. You know, Mercury is the mind. It's how we think about things, how we communicate things. In the 6th house, we might just be reflecting upon our habits and going, you know, this element of maybe I should say things in a way or to myself that are a little nicer. I kind of think of the 6th house more, though, as an outgoing house, even though there's this introverted quality to Virgo into the 6th house. But it's about sort of how can I practically help other people in the world around me, like in my space. And so how can I bring order to those other sort of relationships? How can I be more humble? Humility is a big one, the 6th house. How can I be more devoted, etc.? Could even be focusing on religious practice, nutrition, you know, exercise, meditation's great. This one, going inward, going inside. How can I also serve myself? You know, it's both. Now, 7th house is relationships. So this is going to be your partnership to any other human being. So marital partner, best friend, business partner. Mercury retrograde here, you know, it's reflecting upon, maybe you've been in a relationship. A lot of people who have Virgo in the 7th house, in their relationships, they give a lot, perhaps even too much. Boundaries can be an issue. You know, many times they'll have a Pisces, you know, Pisces rising, if they've got Virgo on the descendant. So giving too much, maybe it's a time to reflect upon that and to think, okay, you know, I need to be a little bit more clear about my boundaries. Maybe I'm not being very realistic. Maybe I'm seeing what I want to see. Maybe now I need to be realistic and see what's really happening in this relationship. Okay. 8th house, the house of Scorpio, this is the house of death and rebirth. If you've got Virgo here, by the way, wherever Virgo falls, we tend to have a little bit of worry. It's a little needlesome, little Virgo energy. So in the 8th house, the house of death and rebirth and sexuality, it's the house of power as well. So maybe we're thinking about you could be having some power struggles with those that have power over you. It has a little bit of an echo of the 7th house of if you're giving too much, if you're giving your power away to other people, if you're feeling like I have to do things for you in order to have a job in this relationship, to have a role, or else I'm useless. So maybe if you're used to always kind of taking care of business for people, maybe it's time to not do that. Maybe stop it. Stop doing that. Let them fall on their ass if they need to. 9th house, the house of, I love the 9th house. It's the Sagittarius house, spirit, house of spirit. It's the house of growth, wisdom, religion, all of that. It's really the house where we go and we ask all the big questions. Why are we here? Who are we? Where are we going? It's the existential house. So Mercury here in Virgo says we're probably really thinking about these things and maybe even worrying about them. Maybe re-examining and looking for a clearer path. Maybe we've been foggy on what it is we believe. And so suddenly we went and purchased a book like, I don't know, some spiritual self-help book or some historical book that puts the Cathars history into context. And now you understand how it fits in with the Inquisition and I don't know, whatever it is for you that gives the world around you meaning. You may be, analyzing it. If you're into astrology, it's a great house to have Virgo. You may be uber analytical over the course of this Mercury retrograde. You might be rethinking the way that you have looked at different aspects, perhaps. 10th house is career. It's kind of the house of the calling. It's the house of the life purpose. And with Virgo here, there's a call to be someone who is sort of you step aside from that role of it's all about me. It's more about this role of serving other people in a capacity where you can use your skills and your talents. Sorry, my screensaver just went on. So maybe Mercury retrograde here is revisiting, what is it that I'm skilled at? What is it? How can I serve other people? What's in what area am I best suited? So you might be doing a little career, like maybe it's time to go buy that book, What Color is Your Parachute? If you're feeling kind of like, I don't know if my career path is right for me. You might be thinking along those lines. Mercury retrograde in Virgo in the 11th house. 11th house is the house of our connection to humans. So it's just people. So it's the internet. It is, it's science, it's consciousness, it's fringe thinking, it's the edges. I always think of Aquarius as, let's say it's just pretend that human consciousness had a shape or a form and it's like a sphere. So Aquarius is all about making that sphere expand. Not like Sagittarius, they're different. Aquarius wants to break, let's say around this idea of consciousness, we have a structure. That's going to be our Capricorn structure. It's very rigid. It's like a Dyson sphere. Except for not. That's a really bad analogy. But anyway, okay. So we got this Saturnian Capricorn sphere around. This is what we know as humans. This is what we believe. This is what's true. This is the truth. Okay? Capricorn keeps it there. Aquarius comes and like pokes at it. And so then it breaks down a little bit. And as it breaks down, it kind of spreads apart and then consciousness grows a little bit. So there's uncomfortable having your structure broken, right? If you've broken a bone, doesn't feel so good. Had my arm broken, clear through right here. Didn't feel good. It hurt. But supposedly it's stronger after it heals than it was before. That's what they say. So that's going to be Aquarius. So Mercury in the 11th house, you're going to be thinking in ways that are maybe, they might be shifting your own personal paradigm about the world. You may be more interested in watching videos on consciousness or spirituality or something that's sort of unorthodox, that's sort of breaking the rules. Maybe you're just, you yourself, maybe you're feeling a little bit like, I need to worry less about, what other people think about my personal beliefs. Because Virgo's kind of self-conscious, so Virgo in the 11th house, naturally, there can be a tendency, depends on where Mercury falls, but there can be a tendency to be a little worried about what other people think about us, right? Mercury retrograde, it can maybe exacerbate that worry, and then it can kind of maybe just go, meh. I just shouldn't worry about it. Maybe I should just focus on me. This is an introspection. Focus on what is it about me. Maybe I can improve my social skills somehow. Maybe I can improve my ability to sort of like interface with other people. Maybe I'm just going to take a fast off of the internet because 11th house is the internet. Maybe I'm just going to clarify, cleanse, purify myself of technology for this month. That's also a possibility. Okay, finally, 12th house, the house of Pisces, the house of spirit, the house of the unconscious. I always think of the 12th house as sort of the other dimensions, like other than the ones that are, other than the three dimensions that we can sort of see. It's like dimensions that we don't quite yet understand. So welcome to it's like your own personal temple, sort of, the 12th house. With the Mercury retrograde there, it's a time for you to be connecting with spirits, meditation. It's becoming that clear vessel. So the things I was talking about, the first house, they would work as well for you with your Mercury there. So meditating, getting very clear, eliminating habits that need to go because they're blocking you, all that good stuff. Praying, whatever works for you. All right, that's my run through. This was a bit of a ramble. Hopefully it was helpful. Again, Mercury retrogrades, nothing to be afraid of. People are so funny. Depends on which sign they're in, depends on where it falls in your chart. Okay, it's just like that with everything in astrology. It depends on how it affects you. And not even necessarily affects. It's just the chart is reading a clock. It's just going, oh, okay, this sort of, she's at this place in her process right now. So this is where she or he will be working through these things right now. That's all it is. It's just a clock, not causal. Okay. Alrighty, have a good one. And if you want a reading, come up to the site, moderncosmic.com, and have a good one. Bye.